you're milking a lot of cows, they're indoors full time, so feed is a huge part of the day, getting that ready and having the right feed stuff.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's a 12-hour day feeding the cows, starting at 4:30, and we'll feed in order from which cows have come back to the parlour. So once the fresh cows and heifers have been milked, we'll be there with the mix ready for them to eat.
Okay.
And then we'll just work behind the cows that are being milked.
So will she get fed twice a day then, or how often will that cow?
Double feed.
Yeah.
Just to keep intakes up and encourage them a bit more, and also just to keep the feed a bit fresher. We find if we sometimes we've had to feed them all in the morning, especially if say one of the lads has a hospital appointment, for example, and needs to be there in the afternoon. You know, we've had it before where the feed's warming up. We try and stick to it ideally.
Yeah. So we're looking at your straights here, is it?
Yeah, so bedding in the end bay, and then we've got bread, soya hulls, Nova Pro. That bay's a premix bay with everything blended together, and all your little minerals in your bags and stuff, and then high pro soya on the end there.
Okay, that's your main protein source, is it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So what are we looking at here then?
Whole crop in there.
Yeah.
We've got whole crop in the very top pit as well. I think we usually produce between 4,000 and 5,000 tonnes of whole crop to feed them a year, and then caustic wheat at the end here.
Okay. It's quite a slope on your walls.
Yeah, we designed our pits like that. We find it rolls in better on your shoulders, and it's much safer as well for the rolling tractor to not get wedged.
Yes.
And grass silage in this pit.
Yeah.
We're having a problem with it slipping. It was very wet, and it's just been a bit of a disaster, really.
Okay. I've heard people say that this year with a multi-cut system.
Yes.
That it's hard to keep it from not bridging.
Yeah, we'll do 5 cuts. And this happened last year as well, and it was wet as well last year. It's very hard to get it right, really, in terms of in the pit.
So when you say 5 cuts, how many acres every time are you doing?
Well, this year we've done about 1,000.
Every cut?
Every cut, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right. How long would that take you?
Well, it just takes us just over a day, I think.
Right.
We have 2 choppers working usually, and 2 forage wagons. Sometimes up to 3 shovels on the pit. 2 or 3, usually 2, and 1 or 2 rolling tractors. We really try and get it in as fast as possible with managing the pit, not bringing it in too fast where they're not managing it properly, but with other jobs to go to, with the contracting, time puts a lot of pressure on the job.
Am I right in saying the first cut is the end of April for you?
Yeah, end of April we aim for. Get it off early and set ourselves up nicely. Plenty of grass was available towards the end of this year, I think for everybody up here really, and could have taken a 6th, but we've grazed someone else's sheep on it, so I don't think we need the forage. I think we've got enough.
The tanks here, what's in this?
Left tank Lactaboost, which is like a whey product with something mixed in it, sugar and stuff. And then the right hand tanks, we've got Sadalco syrup. That's just like a syrup, similar to molasses.
Yeah.
And then the machine itself here.
So you went self-propelled Keenan?
We did, yeah.
What did you before that?
So we used a Metcalfe Keenan 400, and we were looking at other ways to feed our cows. We thought about a static mixer and using either a wagon to dispense it, or a big auger bucket. And just by chance, Dad happened to stumble across the self-propelled option, and we bought a Coon self-propelled, and it just didn't quite fit our system. So we spoke to Keenan, and they'd just bought this their version of a self-propelled out. So we placed an order, and then this is our second Keenan. So in 6 years, we've had 3 self-propelled machines.
Okay.
We put in maybe 6,000 or 7,000 hours on across 2 years, so we change them every 2 years.
Right.
It's about the time they need a reline, so we tie that in with just renewing them.
So you can discharge in a couple of points here, can you?
Yeah, you can discharge down either side. We reverse into the passage and feed out forwards. We don't have a feeding belt, we've had bad experiences with them in the past, snapping right when you need them, so we keep it simple, 2 doors each side.
Yeah.
And then at the back there's a premix door, so you load all your straights in and your bags,
Right.
and then you reverse into your premix bay and drop it out the back door.
Okay.
You don't have to shove it with the bucket. It just keeps it very quick and simple.
Yeah. Yeah. What capacity is it?
It's a 33 cubic metre capacity machine.
Yeah.
It's about 265 horsepower, and it self-loads and mixes from the clamps to the cows, really.
Does it has it saved time feeding cows compared to conventional tractor? And
Definitely, yeah. It saves a lot of time, really. You're not getting off your seat to get back on the telehandler, and it's just much more efficient. So, you're into your silage, then you're onto your whole crop, for example. You haven't got a bucket full of silage that you need to take back to tip out.
yeah.
And then you've taken your whole crop, and then you've got a bit that you need to take back to your whole crop clamp. You're bringing the machine with you everywhere you go as such.
Yeah.
And you're also not racking up hours on 2 machines. And, if you're going around with your telehandler loading and you've just got your tractor sat still turning a PTO, you're clocking hours up, the same amount of hours up on 2 machines. And I'd say we've probably halved our telehandler hours with getting the self-propelled, but also we found that our telehandler was a lot more available for other farm work. So those hours, that doesn't really reflect the hours that we're saving, because we don't need as many telehandlers.
How many telehandlers have you in the?
Larger ones up down here, we only have the one.
Yeah.
Farm in total, we have 3.
Okay.
But we do have a lot of building jobs on and stuff, and constant maintenance, which we need them for, steel work and stuff, pallets, wagons, the haulage as well.
Yeah.
And but down here on the farm, we only have the one, whereas before we had 2. So.
So diets and stuff like that, then, is that, say, sent via the cloud to this?
Yeah, it's all cloud-based software,
Yeah.
and it's sent over. There's a small SIM card in that box, and everything's sent over the cloud automatically. So.
And all groups identified then, and diets associated?
Yeah. All the diets are on the cloud. All the groups are set up on the cloud. So all the operator has to do is turn the box on, and all of his diets are there, and all the groups are there. Everything's done for him. Beforehand, it all had to be done on paper, and if you lost your paper, it's a lot better for record keeping.
I see. Is there knives in that then for
Yeah,
when it's rotating?
It's a stainless steel drum with lots of knives attached, and it breaks the silage out of the clamp. And behind there's a auger that moves it towards the belt, and then everything's thrown onto the belt and loaded.
I see.
Quite simple and effective, really.
I see. No, impressive. Needs to be right, and it's a busy machine.